Do you love your enemies? Austin here with Hope to Cope, checking in today to remind you that you are a miracle and you have a purpose. So today I'm going to share one of the admonitions from the Bible where Jesus Christ said, love your enemies. What does that actually mean? What does it mean to love your enemies? As I was in church over the weekend, worshiping and discussing Christ and his teachings, someone brought up this idea of looking at people and seeing their outward appearance and then judging them, thinking, who are these people? Are they really following Christ? And then he said that he had an impression upon him that said, you've got to look at their souls. Look at their souls, and you will see how precious they are. And so I then had a thought to take it a little bit further and said, well, those are people who are actually going to church, right? That this person was judging. What about the people who aren't going to church? What about the people who aren't spiritual or religious? What about the people who are against everything that you know and believe? What about the people who persecute you? What about the people who bully you? What about the people who talk negatively about you? What are your thoughts towards them? And what would it look like to love them? Why? Why would that be an admonition in the Bible to love your enemies? Does that even make sense? So this here is one of my favorite paintings. I've got this here on my wall. And the title of this painting is called Peace is Coming. And in this painting you see mortal enemies kneeling together, united in their worship of God. And so whatever you believe, I believe there are universal laws and principles that connect us all together. And it doesn't matter what opinions you have about politics or what food is the best food or how to raise your kids or anything like that. But there are principles and things that if we can follow those, that's something upon which we can all unite. And I believe that this idea of loving your enemies is the idea of seeing the greatness in them, recognizing that every single person on this planet is a miracle and has a purpose. Why do we do what we do? I make mistakes all the time. I'm sure I have been an enemy to someone else because of remarks that I've made, things that I've done, things that I haven't done, thoughts that I've had, opinions that I've shared. I'm sure someone has perceived me as an enemy. And how would I feel if they turned around and loved me? What would that do for me? Open me up, help them to see them more as a person. And so if we can do that for those that we perceive as enemies, if we can instead see them as they truly are, not based on their thoughts and beliefs and their actions, but as a precious soul, an individual, a miracle with a purpose. And they're in your life right now at this moment for a particular reason, teaching you a valuable lesson that maybe you wouldn't have learned any other way other than through this person who is being perceived as an enemy towards you. And so what if this whole life is beautifully designed to help us learn and grow the most that we can while we are here? And that in the end, we do recognize that the lowest of lows is where we learn the most. And as it turns around, the lowest of lows become the highest of highs. I see you. And I'm grateful for you taking the time out of your life to spend with me And I'm grateful for the good that you give into the world. I know that you are a miracle, that you have a purpose. And I'm here every day to give you a little bit of hope to help you cope with whatever it is that you're going through. Even something as difficult as learning to love your enemies. Because no matter where you're at in your life, no matter what you've done, you are worth loving. You are worth it. You are worth it. And you are valuable and precious. You can always turn around. You can always learn. You can always adjust. It's all about learning and growing. All about learning and growing. Thank you for spending this time with me. And I look forward to seeing you again soon.